All right, demo for this round is a Guild Surfliner. I'd never heard of this model before. Honestly, I bought it because it was under $300 and it had the HB1 and HB2 neck and bridge pickup that I've been looking for a different build. I had bought the green Guild for the same purpose. So I thought I could just take the pickups out of it. No big deal. It wasn't super expensive because those getting an HB1 Guild humbucker because they're out of stock. People want like $300 or $400. Granted, those are like the '90s ones, the antique, the old ones. It's weird to say that '90s is antique, but 30-year-old pickups they want $300 a piece for the pickups a lot of the times. And so these import guitars, this one was also made in Indonesia, just like the um, semi-hollow one I demoed before. Um, it is kind of a cool body shape. It's got string through ferrules. Um, it has push pull pots. It's got the HB2 set, neck and bridge. Instead of a toggle, it's got on off switches here. And even has a really cool kind of neck plate design on the back where they cut the metal away to make the Guild logo. I think that's pretty cool. It's got a satin neck, maple. It's kind of chunky. It says it's a C, but it's a pretty thick C. Definitely a handful. It has Kluson style tuners, probably the kind of import ping ones, I think is what they're called, where they're press in bushings, truss rod adjustment at the head. It is a dual truss rod. The headstock shape is a lot like a built or the Starcaster shape, where it's got the swoop. So it's definitely different. It's got its own thing, but it looks similar to that. It is not a matte finish. It is a satin neck, and it has a scarf joint. I don't know if it'll show in camera or not, but right about here you can kind of see a swoop where the neck headstock and the neck join. It's maple though, so it should be plenty strong. Narrow jumbo frets. The body is poplar, which is kind of cool because a lot of times import bodies are like basswood or basswood. Nothing wrong with basswood. It's pretty soft. Poplar is a little bit sturdier as far as I understand. It's got the kind of normal plastic Guild knobs with the little letter G on them. I'm not sure if that's showing right or not, but if you can see it, you can see it. Jacks on the front. All the controls are on the back. I didn't buy this guitar necessarily to play the guitar. I figured if I ended up liking the guitar itself, I could put different pickups, since I really want to use these pickups in my full scale Jaguar project. This did give me a chance to hear the bridge pickup in a different setting because the pot's messed up on my green one. I think I'm still not positive. I think that it's stuck in single coil mode after hearing this one, but I'll get your guys' input, of course. I'm not going to fill with the push pulls too much. I know you can do single neck and full bridge and single bridge and full neck. I'm just going to do each pickup normally and then each pickup split so you can hear the set. You can mix them and match them as much as you'd want, but honestly, I don't tend to do coil splitting that often. It kind of just thins out the sound normally to me, but some people like it, obviously, or they wouldn't do it. Let's see. So again, it's got switches for each one. This is the bridge pickup. Okay, the neck pickup. From hearing this one, it makes me feel like there's something funky going on with the bridge pickup in my green one. It's probably that pot, because the push-pull pot doesn't work anyways, but these ones, the neck and the bridge sound much more calibrated. Like in my green semi-hollow one, my other guild, the neck sounds super loud and the bridge sounds much more quiet, which makes me think that it's probably stuck in split mode. Both of them together. The neck pickup is pretty bassy. I don't, well, that's not true. I guess I can't say I don't use a neck pickup, but I usually like bridge pickups because I usually like distortion. And neck pickups kind of sound muffly or muddy sometimes with distortion. And some people like that, like with a fuzz effect. A lot of people like kind of that thick fuzz sound. Together, they're a decent combination. I think the bridge on this one sounds better than my other one, but again, I think the pot's messed up on that one. Let's do the split one, so I'll pull out the bridge and I'll switch it back and forth so you can hear it full and then split and full and split. I'll do the same thing for the neck pickup. Alright, let's do both on split. Let's see, is that off or on? Okay, on is down. Both split. Alright, so now if I make the bridge pickup full and the neck split versus both split. Now the bridge full and the neck split, or sorry, the bridge split and the neck full. Both of them split again. Neck full. Yep, sound that different when you split the neck or have it full to me. But I can definitely tell when the bridge is split or full with them kind of mismatched. That's both full. Both split. Yeah, I mean, it's a good guitar, and it's a really good price. The frets aren't sharp along the edges. It would pass the pantyhose test where you run your hand up and down with pantyhose on your hand. It wouldn't scratch it up. The bridge, there's no sharp parts on there. It mounts into string ferrules through the body, so there's no stop tail to worry about. The pickup heights from the factory were fine, unless the people I got it from set it up. Switches and pots seem to work fine. They turn fine. Let's see. Really tiny amount of relief, so pretty straight neck. It was sold as a factory second, as a blemish, because it has a knot. Let's see if I can show it to you. Right behind the tuner there. See that little brown spot? It's a knot. It's not a burn or anything, but because it's got a knot in the wood, they sold it as blemished. There's no stamp on it that says second or whatever, but they called it B stock in the listing, which to me is kind of ridiculous. It's just, I mean, there's probably going to be that picky person out there that says, I don't want my guitar neck to have a little freckle there of darker wood. It's not a burn mark from a router or anything like that. It just looks like a knot. It's perfectly fine. But it let me get this a little bit cheaper. It's even got some bird's eye, a little teeny bit of bird's eye, close to where the neck and the body mount up. A couple little spots. The spots are kind of bird's eye maple. So I think it's a really nice neck, two-piece maple neck, maple fretboard, maple back, metallic kind of gray finish. It's definitely worth playing around with this one. I'll probably change the pots to just normal pots since I don't do coil splitting really, and I'll change the pickups to something a little different. Maybe black uncovered pickups would look kind of cool in this one. Hard to say. I'll do something with it. I'm not going to just take it apart and gut the pickups out of it and then leave it on the floor somewhere. I'll put new pickups on it and leave it on the floor somewhere. As is my tendency. Although I do have another floor rack upstairs that I've been filling up. So on the floor, on a floor rack, not just laying on the ground. That was one of the deals I made with myself when I started going a little crazy with all these guitars, is none of them are supposed to be on the floor. They need to be on a rack or hanging on the wall. That if I can't put it on a rack or on the walls, then I need to sell it, because it shouldn't be just laying on the floor. It's not a good way to treat a guitar. Anyway, that's just my own personal view. Hopefully you enjoyed getting to hear this one. I have never heard of this. I mean, I've heard of Guild. I've never heard of this model. I've never really seen any buzz about it, but it is a really cool guitar. I would recommend it. It's not overly heavy. I would imagine this is probably around the same weight as a Strat, close to 7 pounds. It's not super light either. The quality of the paint and construction seems to be great. I mean, I have good luck with Indonesian-made guitars to begin with. The Squires I have that are Indonesian Squires tend to be really good. Yeah, in fact, they're usually the ones that I tend to look for if I see a Squire, if it's an Indonesian one, because usually you can swap out the tuners instead of those weird kind of parallelogram ones that you can't replace with anything but those cruddy parallelogram ones. The Indonesian ones, usually you can swap in the Goto ones or other modern tuners if you need to switch the tuners out. It's nice to be able to swap it without having to drill new holes. But this one's totally fine. I could swap out the tuners for Kluson ones. They are a little stiff, but it's also brand new, so it's kind of understandable that, you know, they haven't been used yet. But they work totally fine. It seems to be holding tune fine. It's a tune-o-matic bridge, so not a lot of moving parts, so it shouldn't lose its tuning very easily. It's not like I'm using a tremolo or something on this. It's a nice guitar. Has a lot of sound features, so might be up your alley if you haven't tried it. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.